What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to another Colors to Carol video. I have the last release, the current release, and possibly, if by the time I get this video up, the next release, all in this video, so we can have one nice, big, juicy Colors to Carol beauties to drool over. And we also have a new oil scent too that I'm going to be sniffing at the end of this video. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Starting off with the Nightmare on Nails Street collection. These were released last month, if I'm not mistaken. They are 13 each or 100 for the set. Polishgeist is a soft gray Crelly base with purple, emerald, fuchsia, and orange metallic shreds. This has a wonderfully smooth, jelly-like formula to it. It's what I would classify as being a milky type of finish. So if you have a prominent free edge, or if you're wearing falsies like myself, you will see a touch of your visible nail line. I think it's intended, and it's an overall soft finish. Now, the shreds to this are what I would consider a hard type of almost metallic feel. They're less foil-like what we see on some really flat, thin type of flakes. I did have that really chonky one end up on my middle nail there that I thought probably didn't look like I was going to be able to smooth it out. That was the only outlier to all of the flakes here. It will leave you a touch thirsty though, so you might still want to use a glitter smoothing top coat. Creature from the Black Lacquer is a black jelly base with mermaid flakes, evergreen holographic micro shreds, orange holographic micro shreds. This one is really fun, and I really enjoy, I guess at this point, this is probably one of the few ways I'll enjoy a black-based nail polish if there's some type of rainbow-looking effect to it. This has a very sparkly rainbow-type look to it. It built up really easy for me between 2 to 3 coats. Now, this is quite bouncy and squishy on the formula, so I would strongly suggest going in thin. Whether you do 2 or 3 coats, let this one slowly build up so you don't have too much going on your nails for bulk. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat with this one too. Screen is, I knew I was going to mess that up, is a clear base, which is recommended as a topper with orange, purple, emerald, black, and fuchsia shreds, silver hollow micro shreds, black glitter, and black miniature bats. So the flakes of this one, at least to my eyes, they're quite similar to the ones that we saw in Polishgeist. They are like straight confetti material, if that makes sense. So it is going to leave you thirsty and a touch textured. The base to this is quite squishy, so I would suggest going in light. You could probably even get away with sponging if you wanted to be a little extra about it and have super control over what you got in your nails. But I thought I had excellent coverage there. No issues with fishing or anything like that. Franken-Fine Bride is described as a deep purple base with shifting aurora shimmer and green reflective glitter. This is so pretty, and I'm really coming to appreciate Carolina's reflective glitter finishes. I appreciate how just dense they are. It's like butter on toast. It's very satisfying on application. Now, I completely hit opacity on that second coat, but I wanted to see what that third coat would look like. And just in retrospect, I think I could have stopped at the second coat. Probably could have gone in just a touch heavier handed. That way I had better coverage. This is almost jelly-like in how it builds up. So just don't be afraid of the polish, I guess, for lack of better words. This will leave you very textured and thirsty. So you'll absolutely need a glitter smoothing top coat. Gone with the Gory is a light pink Crelly base with red holographic micro shreds, pink and red metallic shreds, pink and red glitter in various shapes and sizes. So another milky finish going on here. This reminds me of an old China Glaze Halloween polish that came out several years ago. I think it was like Guts, or it was definitely zombie themed, but I am very finicky on China Glaze formulas, and this is like if it was actually done correctly. Gone with the Glory, I'm going to say 2 coats because this is milky and you don't want to have any over buildup with that squishy Crelly formula, but you will also need a glitter smoother too. Night of the Living Red is a dark maroon, somewhat red base with aurora shimmer and shifting micro flakes. It does state in our PR information that this one might stain you, so definitely use a good base coat. I will note for those of you using falsies and or the falsies that I'm using, this stained them something else. It was like a jello packet, like an orange jello packet on my nails. So I will definitely agree with that disclaimer. I'm going to suggest 3 super light coats to build this one up to opacity. It's such an interesting color. It's almost how an oxblood is. It's got this black clean and normal lighting, but bright lights you'll see it is a burgundy type of base. Terror from the Tide is an intense royal blue base with shifting shimmer with a magnetic multi-chrome effect. This is probably my top pick out of this bunch. It has a wonderful viscosity to it, super smooth on the nail. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect for opacity. And with magnetics, I'm always saying make sure you're using lots of polish on your nails to get a stark, real delicious line on your magnetic pull. So I honestly thought 2 coats was perfect for that. If you tend to go in super thin, you might need that 3rd coat. Your preference there. When you magnetize it, it's got this wonderful movement. It's just very stark in contrast between the magnetic pigment and the base color itself. And it also has a chrome-like dry down, so use a good glossy top coat. I Don't Give a Glam is the limited edition out of this set. This is a glow-in-the-dark topper. It does state for best results with glow-in-the-dark polishes, you'll want to charge it to kind of kickstart it with some sort of light source like sunlight or a lamp. I do agree with that. That is a fantastic reminder. Glow-in-the-dark polishes, I always kickstart them with my nail lamp, especially for my photos. And that always, I don't know, it just kind of activates it. I Don't Give a Glam will leave your polishes a touch on the milky side. So I will just note that. Make sure you shake your bottle up really, really good because glow-in-the-dark toppers, you just need it to be shaken well. This will leave you thirsty though, so you might want to use a glitter smoothing top coat to kind of smooth it out, which is very indicative to glow-in-the-dark polishes. Next up is the Autumn Allure collection. This is a jelly set with a topper. These are $12.50 each or $85 for the set. First one up is Cran-brr-y. This is described as a blackened eggplant purple semi-translucent squishy jelly formula. This is what I would say is a jewel-toned type of purple. Now, I want to just note on the next few jelly polishes. If you're new to indie polishes, you're new to polish in general, jelly is like, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I keep saying jelly, jello-like, things like that. It'll dry down in this very squishy looking effect. They're not made to be super opaque. So I will note that. They're fantastic for nail art. And honestly, if you're starting out, I always say a good set of jellies and a good set of creams is a fantastic way to start building your arsenal and your collection. Why Not is a deep red, semi-translucent, squishy jelly formula. So continuing on with this jewel themed type of just general tone for this palette. Most of these I chose to wear at 3 coats. There is a few outliers that I stopped at 2. And it just gives you a really good idea of how you can build these up. If you want pond effects with toppers, like glitter toppers, flaky toppers, things like that, these are really good where you can kind of layer them in between, say, start off with a jelly coat and then do your topper coat and just build it that way. That's just one idea there. These are also really good for stamping and coloring in images, things like that, over lighter colors. Cider is an intense blackened brown, semi-translucent, squishy jelly formula. I'm going to tongue tie that by the end of the collection here. This is probably the most opaque in the set. It almost self-leveled like a cream. It was just really super smooth, very satisfying on the brush strokes. Honestly, on that second coat, I could have stopped and I definitely overworked it. This is a fantastic formula. I'm not doing it justice here. Just note, go in soft, let that paddle brush do the work, and it's perfect. So 2 coats for chai, I think that is the best. I don't really see a need to go up to 3, but again, it was for science sake at this point to see how different it was going to be from the others. Raking It In is a very dark hunter green, again, semi-translucent, squishy jelly formula. was pleasantly surprised with how foresty green this one was. It's nice and deep and dark, and I think it also will make a fantastic backdrop for some nail art. This was one of the ones I chose to also do at 2 coats. I should have stopped at 2 for chai, but this one also has that more almost cream type of lean to it. Don't be afraid to have your brush loaded up. With jellies, you want to make sure that you are being completely even as much as possible on each of your nails to prevent any type of opacity discrepancy. S'more Than a Feeling is an intense navy blue, semi-translucent, squishy jelly formula. This is such a lush type of blue. Blues like this and purples like that first one, the Cran-brr-y, that one, those are really good for like bases in unicorn pea pigments or super shifty aurora shimmers, as we'll see here in just a moment. But I just feel like these types of colors pop the best with those. This one I chose to show at 3 coats. I appreciated that stark difference between the second and third coat. So your preference, if you wanted to wear it alone like this, or if you were getting ready to do something cool with your nails, that sort of thing. But regardless, this is such a pretty jewel tone type of blue. Cider Made Me Do It is a burnt orange, semi-translucent, squishy jelly formula. So this one was really surprising to me. I was honestly expecting it to be more red leaning, but it is very much true burnt orange. It's just as vibrant as what you're seeing on the video here. Now, I want to note, I did have just the tiniest bit of staining with when I took it off my nails. It was nothing that a little bit of acetone couldn't remove, but I figured I would just say as a disclaimer, I would personally use a really good base coat with this one. Now, the polish that goes along with this jelly set is the topper. Speaking of Aurora toppers, I chose to show it to you all over the purple, and we're going to take it nice and slow and steady and just appreciate how gorgeous you can transform a jelly polish with really any topper. For Sure is described as a clear base with red, gold, green, ultra aurora shifting shimmer. This is very pretty. I think 1 coat over really any of the jellies or a cream is perfect. It's all you need. Of course, you can go up to 2 if you want to be super extra, but there is amazing dense coverage with this. And now we're going to go into the Birthday Treats Trio. This is a trio, I believe, that was also released a couple of weeks ago. These are 13 each or 35 for the trio. And the first in the trio is Wickedly Witch. This is described as a thermal espresso brown when cold to peachy pink when warm with holographic flakes, holographic shreds, and iridescent shifting flakes. I chose to wear this one, or rather I swatched it at 3 coats with a glitter smoothing top coat, a thin layer, and a glossy top coat. In retrospect, I probably should have stopped at the 2nd coat. It's just that peachy pink warm state. Whenever I was applying it, it was like rapidly changing. On this 3rd coat here, you can see that. And it was basically like, am I getting good coverage because I'm seeing pink, but I was expecting brown. And anyways, that just happens sometimes with some of these thermals. So I want to know, I think 2 normal coats is perfect. This is almost cream-like, but it is very jelly. So I'll just say crelly in how it builds up. Easy to hit opacity. So just know the warm state will transition and maybe confuse you like it did for me. Potion in Motion is a tri-thermal that goes orange when cold to mustard to lime when warm with aurora flakes and clear chameleon flakes. I want to note that when I was swatching this one, that really warm color, you'll see it here in just a moment, I did need to run my hands under some warm water to kind of get that super, super warm state to come out. It is absolutely a tri-thermal. I do agree with that. But if you are, I don't know, running a similar temperature to how I was, you might need to do that in order to kind of activate the warmest state to come out. I'm going to suggest 3 coats for opacity on this one. Some of you might hit opacity on 2 coats if you're rocking nubbins or shorties, but I just thought that 3rd coat was very necessary to kind of ultra plump it out, as this one leans just a touch more jelly-like. I did use a glitter smoother with this one too to smooth it out and gloss it up. The flakes will leave you just a touch thirsty. It Chic is a reddish brown when cold to green when warm with copper and caramel metallic glitter, UCC flakes, and iridescent flakes. It Chic has a heavier type of formula to it, and that's just because we have quite a bit of flakes or a flaky mix going on here. It's got a thicker type of feel to the formula, and I was going in really thin on that second coat. So across the board, I think 2 coats is perfect. Just make sure that you're going in light on your last coat. That way you prevent over buildup. And it also kind of made the flakes stand out, if that makes sense. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat with this one too, because we've got lots of thirstiness and texture from all of those super pretty. They're almost like, I want to call them glitters, but they're not. They're definitely flakes, but they dry down like glitters. And then next is the Dancing in the Graveyard Trio. These dropped this last weekend. We got these for $12 each or $35 for the trio. Its Showtime is a glow-in-the-dark neon purple with color-shifting micro flakes. I wore this one immediately. I kind of broke rules with myself. I typically, if I'm going to wear a polish for myself, use it on my dominant hand. I will wait until I swatched it, and this color, I could not wait. I went ahead and immediately slapped it on my left hand there, and I did some cute ghost stamps. Anyways, it's a very beautiful purple. I picked it out for myself. Not much else to say about that. It has a great viscosity to it. It also glows in the dark. So 2 coats, glitter smoothing top coat and glossy top coat. In Limbo Lime is a glow-in-the-dark neon green with color-shifting micro flakes. Very similar in formula to Its Showtime. Really, any type of glow-in-the-dark polish, they're going to have a lot of thirstiness and just a touch of this almost tiny, tiny gritty dry down, if that makes sense. That's just the glow-in-the-dark pigment. In Limbo Lime, I could have stopped at 2 coats, but I did a 3rd coat, and I did not regret that in the least bit. This is almost Crelly-like, and I thought for my wide, huge nails, that 3rd coat helped give me extra coverage. So depending on length of your nails, all that fun stuff, you might want to stop at 2 coats or 3, your preference, but this is a perfect slimy green that also glows very bright in the dark. Stripes and Scares is a black crackle topper. It does state in our PR information specific instructions. Do not overlap your brush strokes and just apply 1 thin coat. I accidentally went in just a touch thicker, but you could see, I guess for science sake, it's going to give you a thicker type of crackle. If you want that super tiny lines and how this one crackles, really interesting, go in thin. And you can see that it just eventually, as it dries down, this was a total of maybe like 1 minute, 30 seconds. And I was blowing on it too. It doesn't take too long for it to fully crackle across your nails. It has a wonderful creamy smooth formula, actually. Normally with crackle polishes, they have their own weird way that they apply, if that makes sense. But this one was really super smooth. I did use a glitter smoothing top coat though, because I just felt like it was a bit textured after it dried down. And then lastly, we've got the Witchy Twist Duo. This one also dropped this last weekend. These are $12 each or $22 for the duo. This first one is Wicked Witch of the West. This is described as a metallic emerald green with shifting shimmer flakes and holographic flakes. This is so pretty, and I can see it doubling as a holiday polish too, though I super see the inspiration here. It applies like a jelly. I think it was decently opaque on the second coat. You could kind of see through my falsies, so I went up to that 3rd coat and it was perfect. It plumped up beautifully and no issues with it whatsoever. I did use just a regular glossy top coat, no issues with thirstiness or anything like that, even though it's almost foil-like in how it dries down. The Good Witch of the South is a sheer white base with red, pink, purple shifting flakes and shimmer and iridescent flakes. So we have a milky type of finish going on here. I'm going to suggest 2 normal, possibly light coats, depending on how big your nails are. I went in for 2 normal coats because huge nails here, and it was perfect. This did dry down quite flat and thirsty though. So use a thin layer of glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. We're going to wrap this up with the Willet Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So that first set, we had a lot of curly type of finishes. So some of them do work. I'm not quite sold on Polishgeist. Creature from the Black Lacquer looked amazing. I would do 1 coat of a black cream and 2 coats if you layered this one. Scream Screen, I keep wanting to say Queen, is very much a topper, so of course it works. Franken-Fine is interesting over black. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It worked, but it's just super vampy. Gone with the Gory is too milky. It's very much like Polishgeist, I guess. I personally would not topper it. Night of the Living Red, so interesting. It does vamp it out more, but it's kind of like Franken-Fine. Terror from the Tide works very well over black. Personally, I would not topper this one. I liked how contrasting it was on its own. And then the thermals, this was, again, just for the sake of tradition at this point, I would not topper any of the thermals in the trio. You're not doing them justice. And even if you did them over white, I think they're too pigmented. You're going to get a lot of bulk, I think. So personally, they don't pass the test. And it's Showtime and in Limbo Lime. Deliciously opaque. I would not topper these either. They're perfect on their own, but I think over black, you're getting a really good idea of how much color, how much pop are in these. Wicked Witch of the West toppers really well, which is surprising to me, but I would stick with Matchy Match or black if you do. And then Good Witch of the South, it's too milky. I do not give this my stamp of approval for toppering. So the Nightmare on Nail Street is currently available now, in addition to the Birthday Trio and the Squishy Jellies, and then possibly, maybe, I might edit this out, we'll see, the Wicked Duo and the Beetlejuice Trio too. Those are going to be available on October 13th. If I have any corrections to those dates and what's going to be on this video, I will absolutely have the edits around my head. But we also have a new cuticle oil scent. This one is Nightmare on Nail Street. I purposely did not open it up yet so we could get some satisfying clicky clicks together. Oh, there it goes. It's like spewing everywhere. So you can see, you just kind of twist it. Oh, that's nice. It's very florally, like a nectar kind of floral, like a fresh floral, but there's like a sweetened note to it, like a nectar type of sweetness to it. The official scents, the scent notes are fresh flowers, coconut, lemon, oatmeal, nutmeg, and almond. What an odd scent in the best way possible. It's like, oh, I just got some on my nose. That was awesome. The fresh flowers, it's floral. I'm definitely getting floral, but maybe it's like the creamy oatmeal coconutty thing going on with it. It's almost like a perfume kind of. How interesting. That is very, very pleasant. If you like springy type, there's almost like that spiced undertone to it. What a fabulous scent. Yeah, it's, I feel like I'm not even talking to you. I'm like in my own little world smelling this. That's really nice. I can definitely get the floral scent to it. This is another type of oil, cuticle oil, that has jojoba oil as the first ingredient. So it soaks in really well. So I personally would recommend using this throughout the day. And if you wanted to save your heavier stuff, like what I do, for the morning and nighttime, especially after your shower. This is really good for after you wash your hands throughout the day, that kind of thing. So you can grab this along with any of the pretties in this video. And I will link you all below to Colorista Carol's Facebook group if you want to join that and interact with the maker, Carolina. She is super sweet. And I'll also link you to the website where you can purchase any of these if you are wanting to. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.